Finally, we're back in the Transplant Zone with Gary Register. Hi, this is Stan Hustad, and it's my privilege and my pleasure to be with you today. And what we are going to do is we are going to do a little bit of a picture show that would be rated viewer discretion, because Gary is going to show you some of the scars that he has from the Transplant Zone surgery that he went through, with a little bit of a description of what it's all about. Well, Gary's back in the hospital today for an important checkup, so he asked me to kind of fill in for him, and he'll probably show you more details and give you more details as things go along. But here we are. Yes, viewer discretion. There Gary is in the room after his surgery and in the midst of his recovery, and he doesn't have his shirt on. That's why we say viewer discretion. But this is kind of a celebration because, first of all, if this was any other time, Gary would have a 15 pounds of batteries and computers and an electric pump hanging around his neck all the time. And that's how he had to live all of the time. First of all, the celebration is right there. He doesn't have to wear all of that equipment anymore. And he's alive. He has a new heart inside of him. And he is incredibly grateful for that. And even in his gratitude, he knows that the fact that he can sit here with no batteries and no computer and no pump, looking at you, knowing that someone lost their life. And because of the loss of life, a donor was found that would work and is now keeping Gary alive and in good health and in almost full recovery. Well, that's worth showing and celebrating. At the same time, as you look carefully, there you see that in this day of microsurgery, this is a massive scar. Well, of course it's going to be massive. They literally have to open up his chest. They oftentimes have to cut many of the muscles, and so there's all kinds of complications that can go well. Someone once said that in the early days it had kind of a resemblance to kind of a butcher shop. But the process is much better and safer now. And there Gary is, obviously with staples in his body, and that's a little bit of an issue from time to time. But he's there, and he is healing. Now he's going through a good deal of pain. The doctors say just as long as you keep at it, don't worry about being addicted, there's going to be a lot of pain, and just be with us as we get better. So that's what he's attempting to do. Now what has happened is that the cold weather has very much aggravated his pain, and so this storm season is not only inconvenient, but for a heart patient it's a contribution to cold and pain. So he has had to deal with that. So that's why he will always be really bundled up. He won't be like this. On the other hand, you'll see he has a small little Band-Aid on his finger. Well, because of the way the surgery is done, sometimes the blood in the midst of the surgery gets cut off to certain parts of the body, and they can begin to wither. And one of his small fingers is recovering from that attempt, that they can try and get it back to work so that he doesn't lose his finger. But that would be a small price to pay for having a new heart. But that is what he is working on. The appointment today, we will know more about where he's at and how it's going. But we celebrate. We celebrate the fact that Gary can sit there with no shirt and no batteries and none of the 15 to 16 pounds of equipment that he had to carry around with him all the time. Talk about free at last, free at last, free indeed. Thank Jesus, I'm free at last. So that's what we celebrate, and we ask you to celebrate with us. And again, to remember to please support us as we begin to encourage more and more people who are in the transplant zone. And we are wanting to actually be a spokespeople, a spokesperson, a group of people, and particularly one person who will represent the ability to help and encourage people in the transplant zones. And there are many people in that arena. So please be with us. helpiwill.com, helpiwill.com. We would appreciate a number of you said we'll help contribute to you and your recovery in the program. And we would be grateful if you would do just that by making a contribution to helpiwill.com. Well, Gary will be back out of the hospital, and we'll put a shirt on him and maybe even show you a few more things that he had to wear, but he'll be reporting on his status and his gratitude to you, his friends, to those of you who have prayed for his success in all of this, and we are very, very grateful. So we're going to close Gary down now, and we'll wish you all the best and blessings. If you need any help or questions, just reach out to me at stan@witradio.net, stan@witradio.net, and I'll be able to pass that on to Gary and to help you with any of your questions about the program. All the best till very next time. Bye for now.